What if participating in a blockchain network didn't require expensive hardware, complicated node setups, or deep technical knowledge? What if you could simply activate your position and let the network work for you? Today we're diving into a project called Bitcoin Everlight, and something important is happening right now. The project is officially relaunching on March 16, 2026, starting again from phase 1 after a complete overhaul of the system. In this phase, the token price starts at 0.0008, while the planned launch price is 0.03110. But the important thing here is that this video isn't about chasing a pre-sale round. It's about understanding the architecture of the project and what the Everlight ecosystem is actually trying to build. And this is not just a small update. This is a full evolution to version 2 of the ecosystem. Now before we go further, transparency matters. Bitcoin Everlight was originally launched earlier, but the team decided to completely revamp the project architecture to simplify the experience for users. And importantly, everyone who participated before the revamp was compensated. If anyone from the original presale still hasn't received their compensation, the team asked them to simply contact the admins inside the official Telegram group and they will handle it directly. You can find that Telegram in the description of this video. This type of reset is rare in crypto. Instead of pushing forward with flaws, the team rebuilt the system from the ground up, and the result is something called Everlight Shards. But before we talk about Shards, let's understand the core vision of the project. Bitcoin Everlight is built around a powerful concept, creating a network where transaction validation infrastructure exists in the background, while users interact with a simple participation layer. In the original design, the network relied on something called transaction validation nodes. These nodes handle transaction validation, network routing, reward distribution. In other words, they're the technical backbone of the ecosystem. But here's the problem. Most people don't want to run nodes. They don't want to configure servers. They don't want to manage infrastructure. They just want to participate. And that's exactly what version 2 solves. Instead of forcing users to run nodes, the new system introduces Everlight Shards. A shard is essentially an activation tier that connects users to the validation network. Think of it like this: the node still exists, the infrastructure still runs, but the complexity is hidden behind a simple participation model. With Everlight Shards, users do not run hardware, users do not manage servers, users do not configure validation software. Instead, they activate their position within the network. Nodes power the infrastructure, shards power participation. This is the key concept behind Bitcoin Everlight v2. Another interesting part of the system is how shards actually activate. Users don't buy shards directly. Instead, during the presale phase, users acquire BTCL token. As the total USD value committed increases, different shards tiers automatically activate. So participation tiers unlock based on the total value committed when a user enters the ecosystem. This mechanism connects presale participation directly with the network infrastructure. But the reward model is where things get really interesting. During the presale phase, activated shards begin earning fixed BTCL rewards. Rewards start immediately when the shard activates, and they continue throughout the presale period. During this stage, rewards are paid in BTCL tokens. Different shard tiers have fixed APY levels: 12%, 18%, 28%. These rewards accumulate while the presale is active. Another important detail: tokens cannot be transferred during the presale. That means all commitments are final until the launch phase. This ensures stability during the network's early formation. But this presale phase is only the beginning, because once the network launches, the economics completely change. When Bitcoin Everlight transitions to mainnet, shards evolve from presale incentives into real network participants. The reward model shifts from fixed incentives to performance-based Bitcoin rewards. Instead of fixed APY, rewards come from real network activity. Specifically, shards receive a share of Bitcoin-denominated transaction routing fees generated by the validation node network. That means the more the network is used, the greater the reward pool becomes. This transforms the system from a presale incentive model into a live network economy. Once the network launches, shard stats becomes dynamic. During presale, shard tiers activate based on the USD value committed. But after mainnet, shard tiers depend on maintaining a minimum USD equivalent balance of BTCL tokens. This creates something called economic alignment with the network. For example, if someone activates a shard tier by committing $500 during presale, after launch, if the value of their BTCL drops below that level, the shard tier may downgrade. If the value rises, they could even sell a portion while maintaining the same tier. This system ensures that participation reflects ongoing commitment, not just early entry. Looking ahead, the roadmap outlines how the ecosystem will evolve. The network is planned to launch first on Ethereum, which makes sense because Ethereum still provides the largest liquidity environment and infrastructure support. From there, the ecosystem will expand as the validation network grows. The most important milestone to remember is the official token launch date. The BTCL token is scheduled to launch on July 19, 2026. However, the team has also stated that if the presale sells out earlier, the launch could happen before that date, so the timeline is flexible depending on demand and ecosystem growth. What makes Bitcoin Everlight interesting is not just the presale. It's the architecture of participation. The project is trying to solve a real problem in crypto. Node infrastructure is powerful but too complicated for most users.